G'day guys, welcome back to the Aussie Gooner channel, and yes, it's that time again. It's match preview time, and you know we're playing those wankers over there from fucking Liverpool, the worst fucking lot to be fucking bothering with right now at the end of the season. But you know what? I got good vibes. I got good vibes on this game. Like, let's be honest, I'm feeling fucking great. But before I get into this, before I get into that, do me a favor, hit the subs. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, maybe a like. It'll help. You know what I mean? And if you could, please, just please, subscribe to my co-host channels because we're doing the best we can. And I'm going to start with introducing my co-hosts. I got to do it, Fran. How you feeling? Come on. I know you're feeling good. I know you're keen. Come on.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. People have been asking me on preview shows, and I've just been like, yes. This week is going so slowly. So slowly. I don't know if you think that. Maybe because there's been but there was midweek Prem matches. It's just it's really dragging. I'm so excited for tomorrow. There's so much to get into. I was going to say, to add to your thing, everyone, if you could take Steve's show and share it on Twitter or Instagram, that would really help as well. Get some new people along.
Yeah, look, that'd be wonderful if they could, A little bit of a share here, a little bit of a share there. You know, it's all love in the end. You know what I mean? You know, all gooners. A little bit psychotic from time to time, but, you know, we're all gooners in the end. Carl, making your debut on my channel. It's been a while. It's been a bit. It's been here, there, and everywhere. We've been chatting here and there. Buddy, how you feeling, mate? How you going? Thank you for jumping on as well, mate.
No worries. I'm all good, mate. Looking forward to doing this. Obviously, I spoke with you a couple of years ago on another channel, and it's been a very, very long time. But yeah, very well and truly up for this one. This is going to be quite not a heated discussion, but it's going to be fire. Let's just put it that way.
Man, look, to be honest, it's been too long between me and you, but I love what I've got at the moment. I've got Carl Walsh Gunner that's going to be coming in as well, guys. So look, keep your eyes peeled. He'll be coming in, mate. You know, he's jumping in, maybe making a dodgy tackle or whatever. But look, let's get into this. I mean, Liverpool Arsenal, you know, previous seasons has been one of those ones where I'm pretty sure we could all say would be like, not again, because we've always been that team that continuously got battered by Liverpool. But this season, it's a different season. It's a different vibe. And Carl, I'm going to put this to you first, mate. I'm going to put this to you. I mean, this season, the way it's been going, are you going into this Liverpool game with just a little bit of confidence or a lot of confidence? Or are you just thinking it's going to be much of the same?
In seasons past, if this was in any other season, I would probably say, yeah, this is going to be a rather rough ordeal for us Arsenal fans because, you know, our record at Liverpool has been absolutely atrocious. In the last 6 times we've gone to Anfield, we've scored 4 times and conceded 22. I think that just tells you all you need to know when you go to Anfield. I've posted tweets out saying right now we're playing as much confidence as we possibly have, and this is absolutely amazing. But this is still Anfield at the end of the day. It's a different beast. Now, this Liverpool team in question, let's just say they are on the downswing. They're not in a good position right now. Their defense is poor. They've got nothing in the midfield. They've still got good firepower with Salah, Firmino, Darwin Núñez, and Cody Gakpo, but it's by no means the same. What I don't want us to do is to go into Anfield thinking, yes, we can rough this lot up 3-4-5-0, because we've seen what Man City have done to them after their pretty much boring performance against Chelsea midweek. You can probably understand we should do that. And the note of caution I'll throw to you is that Man United had that same sort of mindset going into Anfield, and they got the fucking snot beaten out of them. So we can't go into that game thinking we can absolutely sweep these lot, because guess what? Liverpool are, I'm going to use an NFL analogy, okay? Because I do a lot of NFL content as well. Liverpool are the equivalent to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They play down to inferior competition, but as soon as they play anyone of decent, like a Kansas City, a Buffalo Bills, or Cincinnati Bengals, they play up to their standard. And this is why Liverpool do. They play up to the likes of City, the likes of United, the likes of Chelsea, the likes of us. They play up to it. So that is why I say a note of caution going into this game. we should still go with confidence. We are the better team on paper. We are the better team performance-wise. We have the better away. We have the best away record out of anyone in the league. And that's not a lie. I think 9 of our games that we have won on the road, we've kept clean sheets. It's been amazing. The only wrinkle to iron out is obviously no William Saliba. Possibly no William Saliba. But this is a back injury. I'm sure a lot of people in their 40s would know if you have a back injury, it's pretty much not game over for you. That's cool. It can be serious as well as career threatening. It can be. So if Saliba is sort of like even 1% not healthy, I honestly wouldn't play him. And I know a lot of people turn around and say, but Rob Holding, he's such a downgrade to William Saliba. Here's what I will say, because I'm going to try and defend Rob Holding here. When you're playing alongside of Becky B, i.e. Hector Bellerin, when you're playing alongside David Luiz and you got Granit Xhaka or El Neni in front of you, you're playing around mid to average sort of players, and you can't quite. If you play average, the whole team plays average. Hence the fact why we've stuttered over the last decade. But with Holding right now, he's got Gabriel to the left of him, who is playing as one of the best centre halves in the league. You're playing alongside Ben White, who is, excluding Kieran Trippier, is the best right back in the Premier League by a country mile. And then in front of him, you've got probably the best defensive midfielder in the game in Thomas Partey. When you've got that, and also you've got a real solid goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale, behind you as well. When you've got that diamond sort of protection around you, that elevates your game. And you're also playing with more quality. When you play with more quality, your game rises up. Now, yes, okay, the last 2 games have been against Crystal Palace, and I can't remember who else Holding played in for. But he didn't do anything wrong. He plays solid. If he plays solid, it doesn't make mistakes, and no one's going to... In the last game he played for, which was against Leeds, his name didn't get really called out that much at all. And I always say, no news is good news. Holding just does well. This will be a different test for him. And if he comes out of it trumps, really, really high flying, then I actually think, he could be a squad depth player for us over the next coming years. Because remember, I think he's only... What is he, 25, 26, something along those lines?
I thought he was about 26 or 27 years old now. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those two. So, he can be a good squad depth player. But as far as, the rest of the squad is concerned, we've got it all there to do. But this is the bogey. But this is why my little caption below says, defeat the boogeyman. Because this is who Liverpool are to us. They are the boogeyman. So
I didn't make that connection, and I was.
So it's a tough place to go. But can we get not just something, but a win off this team? Yeah, we can. Just don't go into it with any complacency or any smugness like Man United did, thinking they were going to roll them over. Because guess what? They got it back in return.
Yeah.
Well, friend,
though,
what were you thinking? No, please. I was on a throw to you. Are you on the same vibe?
Okay, so I don't think the 7-1 thing is ever going to happen to this team because as well as Liverpool showing up on the day against Man United completely, they just gave up.
They didn't show up.
Remember? And there were some clips of Bruno and guys like that just sort of looking at shall I make that tackle, and then just visibly going, yeah.
Bruno wandered off the pitch. Bruno even shoved the linesman. So there were, I think it was down tools Man United. A lot of people keep thinking that, look what they did there. It's like, well, they did great against Man United. What happened against Bournemouth? So I'm just saying. But please, I'm sorry. Continue.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
Go on, Fran. Sorry, Fran.
No, I was just wrong. I was just wrong. It's Fran.
What were you gonna just add below? I'm curious now.
Well, sorry. It's Liverpool's form this season has been up and down. Yes. It's been constantly been up and down. So this is why I say when they play up to competition, they actually play half decent. As soon as they play down to the likes of Bournemouth or Southampton or Leeds or whoever it is, they don't lay an egg, but they just literally don't perform that well at all.
You're right. Yeah. So Yeah, I feel very conflicted going into this game because there's obviously, the last time we won, I don't know if you said this already, was Mikel Arteta was playing in the team.
2012.
When we won
2012.
when we won at Anfield. But all signs point towards we should get this job done. Looking at the difference of between teams, but I'm still kind of caught in this mindset of do not underestimate Anfield. It's finding a balance between coming in without complacency and also coming in with the right level of aggression to shut up Anfield within the first 20 minutes or so. I'm interested to hear what you guys think. That's kind of I'm cautiously optimistic. That's my headline.
Well, I'm gonna welcome Kyle to the show. And Kyle, the question I threw out to everyone, Kyle, was, previous seasons, this is a game where we all knew it was we might as well just hand them the 3 points when it came to going to Anfield. But this season, Arsenal being on a high, and Liverpool not doing too bad at home. Our away record's actually better than our home record. I'm going into this game with a little bit of confidence. I'm just wondering, how are you feeling about this game? Are you quietly confident, or are you really confident, or are you thinking, you know what, we're going to drop 3 points?
First of all, Steve, I'd like to say big up to yourself, pal, for having me on the show. I'm a bit late. I'm just coming off a 24-hour shift, man. Secondly, I'd like to say big up to the panel, 2 legends. How are you, lads? All right. And I'd like to say a big up to the chit-chat. So, Steve, this is squeaky bum time for Arsenal Football Club.
I didn't want to say it. Yeah, right.
This now, my friend, this is where we see now where this team is now. This is serious now.
And just like that, we lose. He's back. He's back.
I'm back.
This is where it gets serious. Black.
This is where we find out now the men against the boys. If we want to win this league title, this is where it begins. So tomorrow we're playing Liverpool in Anfield. There is a different mentality about this, about Arsenal Football Club this season, and that's down to the manager. Imagine that. Kyle is actually bigging up the manager. He's had to bring a winning mentality that I'm always speaking about so far into this club. Now, let's see, can we continue now and bring back this league title after 19 years back to the Emirates Stadium? Tomorrow is a massive game. Massive game. And I'm not confident. It's Anfield Stadium. It's Liverpool Football Club. Yes, Liverpool are at being poor throughout the season. I was expecting a lot more from Liverpool. But you cannot write Liverpool off. I'm listening to Arsenal fans thinking we're going to show up tomorrow and get the 3 points, no problem. That doesn't work like that in Anfield. You have your fan base. They're not going to allow that. Klopp is looking for results. You heard what he said the other day in the press conference. Results have to get better. They must get better.
I mean,
players have.
I know what you're saying, but did you see him against Chelsea now? You did see them against Chelsea. And I know everyone's talking about Liverpool. Oh, it's Anfield. It's this and that. I understand that, Kyle. And I'm not arguing the fact. I understand Anfield's a hard place to go. But did anyone watch them against Chelsea?
It was terrible.
They should have lost that game 3-0.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
They were fucking horrible.
I've had really bad insomnia the last couple of weeks, and that actually helped me.
It felt good, didn't it? Like I saw that game. I'm thinking, why can't Chelsea win this game? Like seriously, like Kai Havertz, sorry. But they should have won that game, Kyle. And I'm looking at them coming into this game. I'm not. Their run of form hasn't been good, but it hasn't been a great run of form. I mean, I know they beat Man United. Ooh, big Man United. What happened against Bournemouth? That was a team that they smashed up before and couldn't do shit to them this time round.
See what you know every bit as I know. It's only a game. Anything can happen in any game. They might be bad against Chelsea, but they might come down to beat us tomorrow 2-3-0. You just don't know. Football is a strange game.
Yeah,
it's like
true.
you, Steve. We jump into the boxing ring there tonight, man, and you knock me out after 3 rounds. And in 6 months' time, we could have another match, and I could knock you out after the first round. You can't, just because you bet me the first time doesn't necessarily mean you're going to beat me the second time. It's the very same as the Liverpool game against Chelsea. They were piss poor. They've been piss poor. But that's not to say that they're not going to turn up tomorrow and beat Arsenal Football Club. You just don't know. Football, sport in general, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's a tough game. I think it's going to be a tougher game than what people think it's going to be. Our record in Anfield is shocking. We haven't won a game there since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you have the Anfield on our case. This is, Steve, for me, this shows if Arsenal win tomorrow, we have one hand on the league title. And I'd be saying I'm 95% certain we'll win the league then.
No, agree with you on that one.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that one.
Look, the game against Liverpool at Anfield's going to be a different story at Anfield. I understand it. I look at our previous record, 2012. We haven't won there. But I also look at teams like Tottenham Hotspur, who we struggled against always at White Hart Lane. And this season, it wasn't an issue. I look at every single team in London at the moment, and we've done them over. We've done every single team in London over.
Not conceded either, just to add that caveat into it as well.
There you go. And I look at Liverpool at the moment, and if I was going to play Liverpool at any time, it would be now. And I know they got to bounce back, but I look at some of their players. I look at their midfield, especially their midfield. Like, let's be honest. I look at their midfield as one of the biggest weaknesses, apart from the defensive line. Like, I'm going to throw this back at Kyle. Kyle, look at their midfield, right? You look at Liverpool's midfield right now. Is that a midfield that you're going to worry about? Milner, Fabinho, Henderson, I don't know who else you could throw in there, for God's sake. Is that a midfield that you're going to phase about? Because to be honest, when I watched Liverpool's midfield, which wasn't, the same lineup, of course, with no Milner, against Man City, it didn't even exist. Against Chelsea, it didn't even exist. Now, I look at our midfield and I think to ourselves, we're going to boss this game. Like midfield for midfield, Kyle. Yeah. Isn't that a key battle for you? Because for me, it is. Is that not the biggest battle of the game when it comes to Liverpool and Arsenal, Kyle? The midfield.
Steve, our midfield is by far a better midfield than what they have. By far, on paper and on performance this season. And yeah, that's where the battle is won. But I'm still going down to saying, Steve, that's just one game, man. Partey could have an off game. Anything, could get an injury. Anything can happen. I still think Liverpool are dangerous enough, brother. And I think that this Liverpool game ain't going to be easy. I hope I'm wrong. But yes, of course, on paper, we have the better team. Better players. Of course we do. We're in better form. It's us that's want to win the league title. It's us that's on top of the league. So we should go to Anfield as favourites. But
we actually are. We actually are. We are. If you look at if you're a betting man.
Right. When you're on that, right, you say like going as favourites. The state of affairs is it will be a huge disappointment if we lose. It will be like almost an upset if we do lose because of how heavily favorited we are. And I think where the PTSD comes in is like this is exactly the situation in previous seasons where like you can guarantee we're gonna like completely screw it up. And it's just trying to battle that internally with like, no, this isn't the same team anymore. And like being brave enough to actually like agree that we will win and we should win. So, but it will be a huge disappointment if we lose. There will be, yes, heads will roll. Not really, but yeah.
See, I don't see. I look at this game and I'm quietly confident. I'm not writing Liverpool off completely, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and think, oh, it's Liverpool, it's Liverpool, it's Liverpool. I look at their midfield and I'm not phased at all. And Thiago, like this is a good point. Thiago is class. He's slow. So the problem is Thiago. He plays the ball very well. He's very slow. And when you got a midfield like Liverpool's and or Tottenham's that's slow to transition, that's where Arsenal really can control a game, in my opinion. And this is the reason why I bring up that midfield, because that midfield battle is, for me, is going to be key for Arsenal being successful and be able to hold Liverpool in their third. I believe that we have to take the game to Liverpool.
Something that something that's crept into it. So I've just gone back to our recent fixture against Liverpool back in October when we beat them 3-2. Okay, Liverpool's lineup, they play in the formation of a 4-2-3-1. Okay, so that was basically, it was Darwin Núñez up top. You had Diaz, Jota, and Salah playing as the midfield attacking three. And you had Thiago and Henderson playing as the midfield two. When they played against Chelsea, they played a 4-3-3. Henderson, Fabinho, and Curtis Jones in the midfield. They've changed formation over the period of time, and it seems to have got a little bit worse. Is there an opportunity where they actually now go back to this if Thiago is actually fit and healthy? Also, as well, Arsenal were playing in a 4-2-3-1 formation last time we played Liverpool. Now we're playing a 4-3-3, but you could tell our 4-3-3 is so much more better, so much more dynamic than what it is with Granit Xhaka playing as a holding midfielder alongside Thomas Partey.
That's a very good point.
Agreed.
That's a very good point.
You've got all the facts and stats and figures.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Sorry.
I was going to ask you today, kind of on that. I want your tactical, how would you like to see, how do you think we will win the game, in terms of areas on the pitch? And I want you to nerd out soon.
Well, the weakest point in Liverpool's team is obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold. He can't defend an Easter egg on a hot summer's day. He's impossible. I just think if you attack him, regardless whoever it is, Martinelli or Trossard, it'll be a nightmare for him. But that's what a lot of people forget to understand is that Saka is our star boy. Every team is putting at least two defenders on Saka at all times, whilst Ben White's trying to overlap. Everyone's forgetting about Jesus. Everyone's forgetting about Martinelli. So Liverpool now have to fall on I've got to fight with a double-edged sword here. You either double up on Saka, but then you leave Martinelli one-on-one with Trent Alexander-Arnold, who can't defend anything to save his life. Or you put two guys on Martinelli to protect Trent Alexander-Arnold, but then you leave Saka one-on-one with his man and Ben White just to overlap and put the ball into Jesus.
And Jesus causes chaos as well. He completely bamboozles defenses as well. So they're really going to have a tough day.
Him and Martinelli interchange with each other. If you look at what they do on the field, they interchange with them. Not Saka specifically, but Jesus and Martinelli do interchange.
I'm desperate to see them and Trossard play, perhaps switching with Xhaka, if things aren't working. Can you imagine that Trossard and Jesus and Gabrielli and then linking up all four of those movement guys? Ooh, that would be really good. But it's not going to happen.
No, it might not happen, but you never know what Arteta may have up his sleeve. So,
for me, I look at Liverpool at the moment, and guys, for me, when I look at their weaknesses, of course, Trent's going to be a weakness. But I also think that they're not. I'm not going to say Virgil van Dijk, but whoever sits next to Virgil van Dijk, whether it be Konate, whether it be Matip, that right hand side, the centre back and the right back are in big trouble. The reason being is because I find Konate being a bit too slow and clumsy. I don't know if you guys. I mean, I've watched him. He's a great defender, but I think he can be a bit clumsy. He can be a bit slow, and I think that's the kind of player that Jesus can expose. I think we're going to be trying to push onto that left hand side, and it's going to be Zinchenko drawing the midfielder, whether it be Hendo or whether it be Fabinho, into him as he cuts in, and as Zinchenko keeps cutting in and drawing the winger and the midfielder, that's where we're going to be breaking. And I don't see Mohamed Salah coming back and doing what Bukayo Saka does, or in some instances even Anthony does for Man United, and come back to help and defend Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's when Konate has to come in, or a midfielder needs to come in to cover. But if I've already lost a midfielder to Zinchenko and been drawn in, and I've already lost a winger that's drawn in, now I've got a massive hole. And usually what Zinchenko likes to do is he likes to pass to a centre-back for the ball to be opened up to Xhaka to Martinelli, Jesus cuts in, and now you've got a massive overload on the left-hand side, but it has to be quick. And that sort of an overload pulls Konate, pulls Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then you get Virgil van Dijk thinking, do I have to be the centre-back to do it all? And that opens up, because then Odegaard likes to go down the middle of the park, and then Saka can hit the edge of the box. It's about the overload on the left-hand side and how we move. And I think that that's going to be a move that's going to be constant. And this is where the question of, and I've been hearing it out there in the Arsenal world, and I'm going to throw it at you guys. Okay. Kieran Tierney, Mohamed Salah. Now, we all know what kind of an animal Mohamed Salah is. And guys in the comments, big up everybody in the chat. We all know what Salah can do. Even in off-season, he's doing great. A lot of people have been calling for Kieran Tierney to start over Zinchenko. I'm not going to give you my ideas on it. I'm going to throw it at Kyle. Kyle, Kieran Tierney to start over Alexander Zinchenko in this game.
All day long.
All day long.
All day long.
Okay.
I'm listening to you there, Steve-O. I'm listening to the chat there. You're on about the weaknesses Liverpool have. How can we beat Liverpool? Zinchenko, to me, going in the midfield the way he was, massive space kept behind him. You think the Salah is going to just not chase back because he doesn't want to chase back? Klopp will tell Salah, you're not chasing back. You're going to attack that left side there that Zinchenko is going to leave wide open. Then we're going to have Rob Holding, centre back. You might as well have fucking me on the team. Not good enough. Nunes, you're going up against quality players here now. You're not playing a crowd of bagels. You're playing quality players here. This ain't going to be an easy game. I'll be playing Kieran Tierney left back. Stick on Salah. And when you get an opportunity, overlap Martinelli or Trossard and whip in those balls into the 6-yard area. Tierney all day long, Steve-O, all day long. If you don't pick Tierney to play tomorrow, which you want, it will be Zinchenko. I think that we could get Barcelona up in there on that side.
You've also
That's my thoughts.
Can I just chip in as well? Like on the Kieran Tierney argument, we've seen in high pressure games sometimes Zinchenko does give the ball away in that sort of area when they're being overloaded on the counter. And what we cannot afford to do is have those silly kind of mistakes. We just can't be giving them the opportunity to break because that's where they'll get dangerous. But it's just kind of Zinny does so much for the attack that it's I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that. But as you say, he will play Zinny. I mean, if that doesn't work out, at least he can bring on Tierney. But I think, it's a tricky one. What were you going to say?
What would you rather? I want to know what you'd rather. I want to know what your preference is. Don't be a Joe Biden.
I won't be political.
Joe Biden dances around everything, ends up talking about a KFC menu. Mind you, there's a war going on. Come on.
What? In my heart, I would love to see Tierney play. I know, Steve, you do not agree with that.
No, it's fine.
Just because defensively, he's much less likely to have a kind of error in him, like a panic. Zinny does get overwhelmed and emotional sometimes when he is under pressure. And Tierney has got a lot to prove as well. He wants to prove to Arteta. It's sad about what's happening with Tierney. I've really not agreed with how little game time he's got. And I know we're onto something great with Zinny doing the cut in and stuff. But Tierney is so talented and he's better at overlapping Martinelli as well. I'd be upset if I was Tierney with the amount of game time I was getting. I don't think it's fair on him. So I'd love to see him start. And and ideally I would also have Trossard start in Xhaka's place, which is never going to happen. Never going to happen. This is if I was playing
wow.
Football Manager. Can you imagine? That's I know it's literally never going to happen, but that would be my dream. Do you know Trossard scored a hat trick for Brighton against Liverpool at Anfield?
Yeah. No, he's got a great record against them, but in the midfield, I don't know. Over Xhaka, I couldn't agree with you there. So you're saying KT in, Carl? What are you saying to me, man? Are we all Tierney in? Is that what we're in?
I could see the argument from. Oh, Carl's just dropped out.
But then it's
I can see the argument from both sides. On what you've already described, what Zinchenko does is actually good, but he does have a flaw of that left side does get quite exposed sometimes, especially if he does lose the ball. With Mo Salah, that's a really hard thing to try and digest over. Kieran Tierney, he's only made a small amount of appearances for Arsenal, but the times that he's actually come on, he's bossed that left-hand side. He's overlapped Martinelli. He's put some beautiful crosses into the box. So I can understand why the same argument is there. This is a case of, because I think in the Liverpool game, Arsenal, they had Tomiyasu played at left-back, if my mind serves me correctly.
Yeah.
They had Tomiyasu.
That's right.
And he shut down, and he did really, really well against Salah. Unfortunately, they don't have that luxury because Tomiyasu's out for the rest of the season. So, yeah, Manny's already tried to chirp
Yeah.
in on that one.
Yeah.
He is look. I think Tierney is a fantastic player. He's one of our most decorated players that we've got at the club.
Yeah.
I just think Zinchenko is just more of that inverted left back type of player who can come into the midfield to actually assert itself. This is the problem, though. Arsenal need to go over this very carefully. If you go with all possession against Liverpool, there's a good chance you'll get caught on the break. And we know what Liverpool's front three are. They are devastating. They can put good balls in the back of the net, okay? But if we play the counter-attack way, and you have Tierney playing as your left back, then it may just be a ball over the top. Then you've got your two wingers. You know Ben White's going to overlap Saka. You know then Kieran Tierney is going to overlap Martinelli. That's going to cause massive problems. And what does that do? That opens up Xhaka. That opens up Odegaard. And it also opens up Jesus. You don't want Jesus one-on-one because he'll turn you inside out and he will finish you off. It's very, very fortunate that last week he banged in 2 goals. Okay, one of them was a penalty, but he got rid of the goal drought. That's everyone basically thought, oh no, Martinelli's our top scorer. Saka's just been absolutely brilliant. Xhaka's getting goals. Odegaard's getting goals. Thomas Partey is bombing in 35-yarder bullets from the top bins, for crying out loud. Now you add Jesus into that mix, who's now scoring all around the team. All you've got to do is give us 1 yard of an opening shot, and we will bury it. I mean, a prime example: if Liverpool give us half the chances that Chelsea had midweek, we'll bury this lot 3-4, 5-0, because Chelsea can't hit the boat from the ocean. So
you're saying KT in at left back?
No. Listen, I totally chipped in, but I would say that's if my that's what I'd love to see. But if I've got my adult head on, bringing him in out of the cold to start away at Anfield, it's a bit much, I think. Why change what's been working? We're on a 7-game winning streak, So
I agree. I agree to that perspective. That's why in my lineup I actually have Zinchenko over Tierney for that specific reason. We know Liverpool's midfield is shit. If Thiago Alcantara does come back in, it will help him a little bit. But you add Zinchenko to Partey, who just breaks up the play and just everyone looks like fucking stupid anyway. Odegaard can pass through the lines. Xhaka can pass through the lines. And then you add Zinchenko. You've overloaded that midfield again. Unless Liverpool go back to a 4-2-3-1 formation and try and conserve the midfield as much as they can, Arsenal will overrun it.
You're right. There is the potential for us just to be, and it's such a delicious prospect to think about. There is the possibility that we'll just run them wild in midfield and just be passing the ball all around them. And wouldn't that just be fantastic to see? It really would be. That's a delicious prospect. And I hope we actually get to see that, because if things go as well as they could, and we're putting away all these fears, it could be a beautiful destruction.
Guys, when I look at Kieran Tierney, he's my left back. I look at left backs and right backs. I'm old school. And a lot of people are old school when it comes to left back and right back. Now, I wasn't a big fan of Zinchenko traveling. Never was. And that's why I watched him, because I hated what he did. Hated that he was leaving his position and leaving it open to another midfielder like Granit Xhaka. Or, does anyone notice when we actually shift and go 3 in the back and then you see Gabriel shift over to the left?
Yes.
So I was noticing this and I hated it. But what I started to do is watch him a little bit closer. And the reason why is what he did when he had the ball. And what I mentioned before is the way he draws players onto him, and it opens up gaps. And this is what's dangerous. See, there's so many different ways you can overload. See, Tierney, he's a clean cut left back. I'm gonna bomb down and put a cross in. I'm gonna come right back and I'm gonna defend. That's the same thing that my mate Benny White does, right? They're like for like.
Yeah.
What it does is the left-hand side, there's a difference in left winger. And everyone goes, what do you mean? Martinelli doesn't handle the ball or pressure as well as Saka does. Saka invites players towards him. He says, come on, I want to take 1, 2. I want to take him on. I want to keep turning players over. Saka's really good at dribbling the ball and getting into tight places. Martinelli isn't. Martinelli is more of a direct winger.
Yeah.
So now you think about that. You go, well, wait a minute. I've got Saka on the right-hand side who has a traditional right back who can overlap him, but a man who can take on two players, an Odegaard in the overload. That's wonderful, right? Sort of a ball-playing player, a midfielder that's ball-playing, a winger is ball-playing. Martinelli on the other side, very direct. Jesus usually comes in and tries to help him, flick here, flick there to get in. But he's very direct. And that's why I like Zinchenko on the left in our attacks. Now, a lot of people say, but what about defensively? Xhaka usually pulls back. Or I see Gabriel Magalhaes pull to the left. Now, everyone's going to talk about what about the counter-attack? To start a counter-attack, you need to be able to take the ball from defense through to the midfield to the wing, or from the defense straight to the wing. Now, if I'm overloading Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side, what's he going to do? He's not going to play a square ball. Is he going to pass into the midfield? I dare you. Because that's where Zinchenko will be. And Xhaka will be. Do you get me? And Partey will be. So now there has to be a ball over the top. That's fine. Who's taller? Gabriel Magalhaes or Mohamed Salah? They can try and overload the left-hand side ball all they want on a counter-attack. It's about being argy-bargy, trying to catch them offside. And Liverpool do get caught offside a fair bit. So this is the reason why I would actually prefer Zinchenko to come in. And it's not because I love what he does all the time. I just like what he brings in our attacks. And it's funny that what he also brings in defense, he draws players onto him. Their midfielders, when he comes in on an overload, all get drawn towards him. So now their midfielder, instead of staying a little bit forward so they can open up the play, they got to pull back because the overload's massive. Zinchenko, Xhaka, Jesus, and Martinelli. Sometimes 4 players on the left-hand side in an overload. 4 players. That's massive. And when you're talking about having Kanate and Trent Alexander-Arnold on that right-hand side, that's not going to be an overload they're going to enjoy. It's not. It's going to be a prick of a fucking overload. And I think Kieran Tierney, a great player. But I hate to say it, I think his time at Arsenal is coming to an end. I hate this, but I hate this.
Yeah. It's just it's like Pepe. It's just that he doesn't seem like the style of player that Arteta wants, and Arteta is like ruthless, and it's been working for him. It just seems like a massive shame. But yes,
it is.
Great points. I love it when you go nerdy.
I'm sorry to be like a head doer, but I have to. I tried to figure out the logic. The logic behind Zinchenko, and it just didn't make any sense to me. Everyone in the chat, big up. But when I watch him, the way he draws players on, this is in our own half. And then when he comes into their third, it's just fucking, it's disgusting what they do. Absolutely disgusting with him in the back, because he's just so filthy. Guys, I've got a poll going at the moment. I've got a poll going, and guess what's happening in the poll?
Ooh,
the front line right now is looking like Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka at 64%. Everyone's saying Trossard off the bench. Can you believe it?
Well, put it this way. It doesn't matter if you play Trossard or Martinelli on that left-hand side. If they start, Trent Alexander-Arnold's getting circumcised anyway. He just is. It's just not going to be pretty. He's either going to get balled, he's going to get sprinted out of his skin by Martinelli, or he's going to get turned inside out by Trossard. Well, no, pick your poison. Which one do you want?
I swear, it's fucking horrible what could happen in this game. Honestly,
I hope it happens.
Just 3 points, eh? I think we just want 3 points. I think everybody here just wants us to get the 3 points and get it over and done with and move on.
We would all like to go to Anfield and literally rid the boogeyman and beat them like 3-4-0 comfortably. We would all like that. But at the end of the day, we are in a title race. It's not how pretty you win these games by. It's just by getting the job done. I don't care if we win this 1-0, 2-1, or we win by a dodgy VAR decision and it gives every single Scouser PTSD. At the end of the day, you get the job done. Regardless what happens tonight against Man City, Southampton. We all know City are probably going to dick Southampton, but this is the Premier League.
I'm doing a watch along in the hopes that there will be an upset. Because I went away to Southampton when we had a 1-1, or was it 0-0, draw against them in the rain. It was a miserable afternoon, and and they're fighting for their lives right now. And the relegation battle is they're no way down and out because we know how tight it is down there. I'm just praying and hoping that we see that gritty, resilient performance that they showed against us. So I'm doing a watch along in the slim hopes that they can do us a favour just for fun.
Crossing fingers on that one, eh? I'd love to see Man City drop points, but I just don't see it. I think they're going to be pushing along. You know, winning the games they should be winning.
I know we can't hope for it. But we can.
Well, we do have two agents at Southampton, and they go by the name of Theo Walcott and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So maybe.
Oh, honestly, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see them fucking do a job for us, eh? Not even on the payroll.
Theo Walcott, 93rd minute winner.
Born offside. Fucking born offside, man. Shit. Like, honestly, for me, I look at Liverpool's front line at the moment. I know Mohamed Salah will always be that danger man. Darwin Núñez, of course. But the one player that worries me, right, really worries me, and there was a mention here. And it's not Darwin Núñez as much. It's Diogo Jota. Because that bastard, for me, every time he comes on against Arsenal, it's like he loves scoring against us. Can you guys see, I don't know, in your mind, do you guys see Diogo Jota starting this game? Sure, purely for the fact that he loves scoring against Arsenal? He has a great record against us. Or do you think it's going to be, or do you guys think it's just going to be, Gakpo, Darwin, and Salah?
I don't think Gakpo starts.
You don't?
I don't think Gakpo starts.
You think Jota starts?
No, I think the front three is going to be what we saw from the. I'll probably say Salah on the right, Firmino up top, and probably Darwin Núñez on the left.
Oh, Firmino's been bad recently.
Ooh, you reckon Firmino, eh? What do you reckon? What do you think? What are you thinking, friend? Do you think, are we going to see Jota or not? Because if I don't see Jota on the field, I'm fucking happy with that. That guy's a curse.
I don't know. I'm not concerned with them. I'm thinking about our team. I don't pretend to be a Liverpool expert.
No. Well, we're going to get.
I'm putting my hands up and saying I've got no clue.
Darwin on the left is great for me, and Firmino and Salah, that'd be wonderful. But I think Gakpo's going to start. I think Gakpo's going to be down the middle.
I mean,
for me,
it would surprise me if he did start, but the last game he started was against Man City, playing as a false number 9, and we all know what happened there.
City's a different animal. City's just, I mean, and you know what? City's not much of a different animal when it comes to Arsenal. There's a lot of similarities in the way they used to play and the way we play. Just saying. Guys, there was a little bit of a bit back and forth with Mikel Arteta. I've just put this down on the banner on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
That little hint, we have some hope with one of them who will be playing, who will be able to train. We'll see who it is, but I'm not telling you who's going to be training. One of our injured players, apparently, there's a bit of hope that he could be in training. Now, what an asshole, but I understand why he's being an asshole. Guys, are we kind of happy? Are we thinking Saliba? Or are we thinking Nketiah? I've got a bad feeling it's Nketiah. I've got a bad feeling he's fucking talking about Nketiah.
I wouldn't put it. I would not be surprised. You know, like we all hope that, like, oh my gosh, Saliba. But as you were saying earlier, Kyle is. No, you're not Kyle. Are you Kyle?
Kyle.
Just say KB. It makes life a hell of a lot easier.
There are two Kyles. My goodness, my mind is blown. That's made me completely lose my train of thought. I'll pass it back to you guys.
So are we thinking Nketiah is the man who's coming back into training, or are we thinking it's Saliba? Because honestly, I don't think it's going to be anyone else. Shit.
It's only got to be one of those two, really. I think Nketiah has been training, and he's probably on the cusp of probably coming back into the team. Saliba, put it this way, Arsenal were very, very coy in actually giving anything away on what Saliba's injury was when he came off against Sporting. They kept it so hush-hush and so quiet. So we don't know for a fact if Saliba does have a very serious back injury, or it's just a precaution to keep him clean, keep him healthy up until we get ready for Liverpool. This is mind games at the end of the day. And also as well, Klopp's playing mind games as well. No Salah apparently was in training, and neither was Diego Jota, I think it was. I think
it was Jota and Salah, both of them.
Jota and Salah not pictured in training, but we all know for a fact this is just mind games. Thinking, they might not play. How they're going to do this, that, and the other. When we get to the lineup an hour before the game, we're like, "Yep, here comes the lineup: Cody Gakpo, Diego Jota, Mo Salah playing for." fucking Klopp and his bloody mind games. And then also, then Arteta just turn around and goes, "Oh, by the way, Saliba starts ahead of Rob Holding. That's our back four back."
If that happens, if that happens, we're winning 100%.
But that's just the cause. That's the cause for concern, though. With even if Saliba is 95% fit, that if he has one slight little blip in that Liverpool game, that could be detrimental to the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, I feel you on the idea. If you know what, you got a good point. And guys, let me know in the chat if Saliba's kind of come into this game. Let's say by chance he does, and he's at 95%. Would you rather a Saliba than a Holding? Because now I'm starting to think to myself, I'd rather not. Now I know Rob Holding isn't our starting centre back. He's not the worst centre back, no, by far, no. But I think defensively he could do a job. I think he's rough and tumble. I think he could take care of Darwin, probably get in his face. No, he's not the best ball carrier, but I think I'd rather a centre back at 100% than a centre back at what, like my man was saying, at 95%. I think it'd be a little bit scary to start a Saliba, who's he's starting because we can get him in there. I don't know. What do you reckon, Fran? Would you rather a Saliba at 95 or would you rather a Holding at 100 instead?
I don't know. There's the kind of sadistic side of me that's like, I don't care if it hurts.
He's saying Holding.
It's that Ivan Drago scene in Rocky IV. If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
This is such a crucial game.
Oh shit!
I don't want to be a Joe Biden, so I'm going to say I would rather Saliba start. It's just it puts fear into attacking threes and their confidence. Well, attacking lines. Their confidence is kind of.
He is due a late fitness test. Apparently, Saliba is due a late fitness test. So if he passes the fitness test, then there is a good chance that he may play. He may start. So
just the communication between those two and the way they just get each other so strongly. It's really a sight to behold. We know how good they've been. So I would put Saliba in. I just don't want to risk Rob, who hasn't had that many match minutes, and it's all good training, but when under the pressure, like he hasn't been in the team this season when we've had to go through those difficult moments. So he's a bit more unpredictable. I would say even a 95% Saliba is less likely to have a clanger than a 100% fit Holding, just because of like the amount of game time played and stuff. I think it's a safer bet.
No faith in Holdendinho. I've got Brenny over here. Brenny74 saying
I have faith in Holdendinho, but I just adore Saliba and Gabriel. Like, that's no diss on Holding. I think he would do a good job. But if I wanted to go in feeling like calm, but go on.
Go.
All right. As I said earlier on, though, is that Rob Holding, when he was starting for Arsenal years ago, he was playing with very average players. Yes. Now you look, he's got Gabriel Partey, Ben White, Ramsdale behind him. He's actually more protected now. And when you're more protected, that gives you more confidence. You're also playing with more experienced players, more quality around. So if you play with more quality, your quality will also improve as well. So I don't like this, I've always been an advocate for Rob Holding up until when I started seeing him make mistake after mistake. And I'm like, oh, God. When he first started, he came into the game, I kind of thought, like, you've got the quality and the attributes to be, it is very, very reaching for the high ceiling here, but you could be our next Tony Adams. Could be. And I said could be. And I know the shirt to the left of your shoulder, May. That is an iconic shirt, by the way. The fact, now he's in a position now where he actually is doing really well with the quality around him. He is bringing up his game a little bit, but this is a different kettle of fish. If he gets through this test against Liverpool, if he does play and gets through this test against Liverpool and we come out with a win, no one's going to batter an eyelid about Rob Holding being a shit defender, because that will put all the naysayers to bed.
Oh, bloody oath!
And if they still don't, you're just holding haters. It's just as simple as that.
Look, I'm with you on this. Look, Rob Holding hasn't put a foot wrong since he's come in, and I'm with you when it comes to having quality around you, so that way you can perform at your best. You can look at. I look at James Maddison, and I think to myself, a player of his caliber in a better team, he could be an absolute gem for any team. But unfortunately, he's playing for Leicester and he's struggling. Even Yuri Tielemans this season playing for Leicester struggling.
You
And I mean,
say Madison's struggling. He's only one goal behind Odegaard.
Exactly, he's struggling. Could you imagine what he could do if he was playing for, let's say, Liverpool?
Us. No, us. You put
Us?
Madison. You put Madison. You put Madison in place of Granit Xhaka, and you put Madison and Odegaard.
Oh, but then it becomes a walk through midfield because we all know what happens to Madison when he gets a bit of an argy-bargy. He hits the ground quicker than anything else, mate. No. I need someone who can take a hit, mate. Sorry, mate. It's either one or the other, mate. I'm sorry. Come on, mate. You can't have it all. You know, here we go. This is Wenger fucking. This is starting to give me
We're
Wenger
winning
vibes.
the league, God. We're winning the league, God damn it.
Wow.
I think Rob Holding can hopefully do a job. And look, I'm with DWTT here, where he says Saliba plays if he's 100%. Bloody oath. If he's not 100%, no. I don't want to see him there. I don't want him to be second guessing his movements, worried about the injury, because you get that in players. I saw that with Jesus last week, and of course he came back and he was decent. Now I don't want to see that with Saliba, especially in the defensive line. So I'm with it. And I mean, Manny's here agreeing. He's saying, look, no player less than 100% fit should play. Simple as. On the bench, yes, have him on the bench, but don't start him, to be perfectly fucking honest. I don't want to take that risk. I really don't.
Yeah, and you and I, Steve, with our 40-year-old back injuries, as you were saying earlier, Kyle. So I trained through my sore back and then ended up cracking a disc, basically. You don't want to mess with backs. So if he's anything less than 100%, just for his own health and longevity as a human being, you don't want to screw up his back.
Oh, exactly. Fucking exactly. Yeah. Guys, the question I put out in the poll was, who is going to be in your front three? All right.
Woo.
Now the vote had. Let me double check the vote. Where is it going? Ooh, it's still up there at 64%. It's still at 64%, guys. Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka. But I'm going to put this question to Carl. Who's your front three? Who is your front three? Who starts here? Does Trossard start anywhere?
It's tough. Let's get the main parts out of the way. We got Saka and Jesus starts. Okay, we could all agree Saka and Jesus starts, right? I think the main conundrum is who starts. Is it Martinelli or is it going to be Trossard? I've got Martinelli starting first, and the reason why, because I think his pace is going to give Trent Alexander-Arnold a bit of a hard time. When he comes off after about 65, 70 minutes and brings Trossard on, depending where we are in the game, whether we're 1-0 up or it's 1-0 or we're down or we're 1-0, 2-1 down, whatever it might be, then you bring Trossard to start being creative, start mismatching, try and switch the play around and that will give Trent Alexander-Arnold massive problems because he's going to have to come out of his position, but that brings another player into his, and that makes it awkward. I would start Martinelli. I can understand why you would start Trossard as well. I can do that. But Martinelli is also our top goal scorer. So I would start Martinelli. I would start that front three against Liverpool. Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka.
Fran, same question. I mean, look, Jesus could sit on the bench.
I think with him, he scored a brace in the last game. His movement is just going to be a recipe for disaster for their midfield and back line. So I'd like to see Jesus start. However, I would like to start Trossard with him, the king of assists, because he's also scored a hat-trick. For Brighton, I think it was, at Anfield. And I want to see him start because he plays 60 minutes, and then imagine having Martinelli coming on as the impact sub. That would just be like a killer blow, basically, because his pace at that kind of end of the game. I know Trossard's got pace too, but that would be the way round that I would play, I think. So, what about you, Steve?
You know what? Look, my starting line is going to be much like the vote. I want to see Jesus and Martinelli start because I want it to be like firecracker and speed on the left-hand side. I want to tire out the defensive midfield. And then I want to bring Trossard in at about the 55th, 60th. Then I have two players that are they're a little bit similar in Saka and Trossard in left and right, very like for like. And have Jesus in the middle of the park. I mean, by that time, usually Trent, when he gets to about 60, 65 minutes and he's being demoed, that's the time he starts to just drop his head and says, I've just had enough of this shit. I really don't care. And then Kanate and or Van Dijk are the ones that are going to have to constantly have to cover him. So I'm actually with the poll. If I was to vote, I would be voting Martinelli to start on the left, Saka on the right, and I have Jesus right down the middle to friggin' see if we can get ourselves another goal. Seriously, that's my vibe. That is my vibe. I mean, Chelsea OG saying Trossard. I've got everyone in the chat here giving me. What are they giving me? Trossard super sub. Look at this. OG saying he should start. We all know who's there right there. Trossard super sub and wins it. What do we got? Mr. Arsenal. All I'm saying is Trossard already scored a hat-trick at Anfield this season. I know, and it's so hard not to start him. That's the problem. That's the conundrum. Yep. Sorry, keep going. I'm sorry, mate. Go for it.
That's what that is a conundrum we're all facing here. Trossard has gone to Anfield already and banged in a hat trick. So it's a case of, do you reckon he can replicate that? But the thing is, Liverpool played Brighton and they didn't think Brighton was a threat. They are two games in hand away from gate crashing top four. They are a threat. So they know, but we're top of the league. So they know that that's another thing. I mean, Arteta's got to figure this very, very coyly. They know, Liverpool know what Saka is going to be. They all know what Saka is capable of. They know Jesus scoring, they're going to have a problem to deal with. If Arsenal does decide to play Trossard on that left, it's going to say to Liverpool, oh crap, flashbacks against when we play Brighton again.
Yeah. So
you're going to have to deal with Saka. So you're going to have to deal with Saka. You're going to have to deal with Trossard. Jesus will turn you inside out. Odegaard will pass through the lines of Xhaka. Well, he'll just manhandle anyone out of the way to actually get an opening. This is all sorts of things. This game's got to be so critical for Arteta. Get the lineup correct. I could see why you would play Trossard on the left. I could actually understand why Fran would also say Martin on the left, play Trossard in the middle and leave Jesus on the bench. I could see that happening as well. Because that's probably the last thing even Liverpool would want to see as well. Martinelli his goal scored for us. Or Saka just creating and causing everyone problems. And Trossard has already given you PTSD for when you played Brighton last. 3 things to worry about. That backline ain't going to. That Van Dijk is going to have his hands full. Robertson and Trossard are going to be running to the ground. And Kanate's irrelevant, frankly. So Arteta's got to get this lineup spot on. Got to get this spot on, especially the front three.
Good problem to have, Bart. It's a wonderful problem to have. Like everyone in the chat,
it's a lovely problem.
It's fucking great. We haven't had an issue like this in donkeys, for God's sake. Look, we started out from three.
I know. Whichever three we have, though, I just feel so much more confident than Liverpool would feel going into the game because behind them, the midfield is so strong and can get the ball to them. Whereas if you're Liverpool, you've got those three front players, but how are you actually going to get the ball to them? As we were saying earlier. They've got strong front three, and then behind that is all just like
Fabinho. Fabinho, everyone else.
And I think Salah used to Salah still scored lots of goals this season. Don't get me wrong, but in previous games you've seen him really be able to step up and destroy teams basically. But because the level of everyone around him has dropped just fractionally, but everyone has. He's not getting the support around him to be able to make that kind of huge impact in games anymore. Just in terms of the full team, we're so much stronger than them. I mean, if you're Liverpool, you're looking at the team coming to play us only has one injury. They've only got one second choice player. If we were playing anyone that had their full team minus one defender, we'd be bricking it. Do you know what I mean? We're in such a strong position. I think. Because we're in such a strong position, one little thing that's not quite right, we're making a massive big deal out of it. We've basically got a full strength team, minus one. We should be getting the job done. But Steve, I'm really, really sorry, but I think I'm going to have to dip early because I feel horrible. I got a migraine. I'm on antibiotics,
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I might have to dip early and I'm going to listen to you guys chat a little bit longer. Is that okay?
By all means, please take care of yourself. Okay. Big up.
Okay. I'll just give my goodbye. I'm really sorry to dip early. But everyone, my name's Goal Art, so the word goal art and then ZO, and that's go and check out my website because I design like hand drawn like Arsenal streetwear and stuff, and I've got some new designs coming out soon. So check it out, and I've got my YouTube channel as well. And I'm going to do a watch along later supporting Southampton. So,
Frank, before you leave, score prediction, because I was just about to get into that. What do you reckon?
3-1 Arsenal.
You got my score.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to listen. I'll be in the chat, all right? But I've got this bright light on me and it's making my head go. So,
all good.
All right, I'll see you in a bit.
Gotcha.
Safe round.
Carl, I was going to ask you that same question. I was going to ask you, what's your prediction for this game?
I've got two. My head is saying 2-2 because I think as I said, our record at Anfield is not very good at all. It's very appalling. This is basically a reverse you back to what I think it was like last year. Man United were down in the flipping dumps. The team on paper was absolutely pathetic. We were slowly building and in really, really good form at the time. We still went to Old Trafford and we still laid an egg. We still couldn't. We were at our best. We were at our best. We were the better team, and Man United beat us with one of their worst teams we've seen in years. This is one of those situations where Liverpool are playing at their worst and Arsenal playing at their ultimate best, and the script can easily be flipped over. So my head is saying 2-2, but my heart will say Arsenal win 2-1.
Wow.
I think we are going to. It's not going to be a blowout. I mean, if we win this 3-4-0. No one, not a single hater, can turn around and say Arsenal can't win the league because we've just gone to Anfield and literally beat the brakes off them. It's going to be tight. It's going to be how am I going to do this watch along tomorrow afternoon on my channel while trying to stay composed is going to be It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. So my heart is telling me 2-1 Arsenal, but my head is telling me 2-2. If I had to pick, I am actually going to say I think we can get a win here. I will say 2-1 Arsenal. But my God, it's going to be I'm going to have no fingernails at all.
It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a tight one. I reckon it's going to be a tight one. Honestly, I think it's going to be a tight affair for the first 10, 15 minutes of this game. I think both teams are going to be they're going to be testing the waters to see who's who. I just don't want to see our Arsenal fall under the same trap that we have in the last two games where the ball gets played off to the left-hand side real quick and there's a shot on goal. I hope we've ironed that issue out and our defense can start playing from the word go, because that's going to be key to this game. We can't fall asleep and only start defending after a minute or two into the game. But my gut keeps telling me, and it keeps on telling me, that we're going to win this game 3-1. I really see it. I honestly think it's going to be a 3-1 game. 3-1 or 3-2. Either way. And Chelsea OG, big up. My mod in the background is Chelsea OG from the west of London, taking care of someone from the north of London. Yes, we have a Spurs fan in here being a dickhead. It's okay. I don't mind. I just don't want it, guys, in the comments. I know I could wreck him. But I don't want to talk about Spurs. It's irrelevant. They're not relevant to this argument. You know, they're just a stone in our shoe. So I don't really want to waste my time. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even a discussion worth having. So I decided to chat to my mate, Chelsea OG, to become the new sheriff in town. And fuck, is he doing a wonderful job. And big up everyone in the chat. Seriously, big up everyone in the chat. Big up. Please, if you could, smash the likes and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. It'd really mean a lot. So for me, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to stick with a 3-1. I'm literally going to stick with a 3-1. I got Chelsea OG saying a 1-1 draw. You'd fucking love that, wouldn't you? And I just made you the new sheriff in town. I'm thinking of changing that.
What we're all expecting, we're all expecting Manchester City to literally destroy Southampton in this evening's kickoff. We're expecting them to. Oh wow, that's a bold statement. But if Southampton go and do the impossible, this is only hypothetically thinking here. If Southampton go do and end up beating Man City, which I don't see it happening in a million Sunday, but this is the Premier League. Anything can happen on any given Saturday, Sunday, or whenever we play. But if Southampton do go and do the impossible and actually get a win against City, that game against Liverpool basically becomes a free hit. We could go to Anfield then and say, do you know what? City just dropped points here. We could go there, play freely, either play with freedom, and we don't feel like so under pressure. But I'll guarantee you this, that will just light a fire under us even more to say, right, if we go and win, that's 11 points. City's game in hand at home to West Ham, that's pretty much going to be their win for them. So they'll be back to an 8 points. Arsenal going to that game against Man City with an 8-point lead. We don't have to beat them. And this is where everyone is this is where non-Arsenal fans are just trying to get the narrative put in front of them by saying, the only way you're beating the league is beating Man City. 2016, when Leicester won the title, the team that finished second, that was us. We're the only team in the top 6 at the time that beat Leicester City home and away. Leicester still won the title. So it's bollocks. It's utter bollocks that we have to go to Man City and win. You just have to... Man United, I think it just went 1-0 up, by the way. So the whole narrative, we have to go there and beat City. Would it not have to be Man City at Etihad? Yes, it would, because there'll be another bloody monkey off our back, because there's another place we don't do very, very well in. But we don't have to... As long as we don't lose... But that's a poor mindset. And we want to go in there not to lose. You go in there not to lose, you will lose. Or you go in there to draw, you'll end up drawing, or you end up losing. Go in there with the same mindset to go out there and win. But if you come out there with a draw, City may just crumble. And this is another thing. Arsenal do beat Liverpool. It's not a dent to City's title hopes. It'll be a dent to them psychologically, because they would have looked at this fixture list, the 9-game run, and they've got right now, and they'll think, this is a game that Arsenal could lose to. If they lose, we are back in this. And if Arsenal win, they were like, shit, we were hoping they were going to win. We were hoping Liverpool were going to get something out of that game.
They're hoping and praying that we're going to stumble, of course. And
they've still got to do... Fuck me, it was McChicken Sandwich that scored. Jesus Christ.
McTominay?
McTominay, yeah.
Well, there you go. He was doing it for country. Now he's trying to do it for club, eh? King of Animals has actually got a good question here for you, man. What's your channel for watch-alongs? I'm going to put it in the description, but please shout the channel.
My channel's KB Sports. That's my YouTube channel. I run 2 parts of it. One is obviously the Gun Down Show, all to do with Arsenal, and the other one is to do with the New England Patriots from the NFL. But I'm undergoing a bit of a change in the summer as well, changing up the channel a little bit, making it a little bit more fresh, a little bit more frequent. So, yeah, but you'll find me on KB Sports is my YouTube channel. So smash a like there, and you'll find I'll be making the video for it later on today, so everyone can find it. And I'll be sending a link on my Twitter feed as well. So KB Sport 31 is my Twitter handler, and that's where you can also find my links as well.
I'm going to definitely add it to the description, guys. I'm going to chuck it down there as well, so that way you guys can find him. And please, Kyle Walsh Gunner was in the building as well. He had to step out. Please, if you guys haven't subscribed to Kyle Walsh Gunner's channel, please go ahead and do so. My man Akpos, he's not here at the moment, but we all know he's got the talk shop. If you could go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Armory Football Capital, guys. Warren's Team Talk. It's all love, 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 love. This little YouTube community of ours, it's a real deal YouTube community. We kind of stick together and we do the best we can by each other, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to go through some of these comments, man. I'm going to go through some of these comments. Golatso saying, thank you very much for the kind wishes. I hope she feels better. Across the Pond Sports Talk, 2-1 Gooners, Jesus, Easter Sunday, and Martinelli, Gakpo for them. But yeah, Tross may come on and make it 3-1.
They've seen the pictures on Twitter saying Arsenal win 2-1 and Jesus rises on Easter Sunday. Jesus. The narrative, if that comes out, the thumbnails are not even going to be able to take seriously.
It's going to be non-stop, eh? It's going to be non-stop. Because, I mean, look, it's a 2012 drought. It is a hoodoo that we got to take care of. And right now, I think it's the best time to play Liverpool. We're on a high. Our away form has been fucking pretty good. Their home form has been fair. A lot better than their away form. So I guess it's up to us to go to Liverpool and go to Anfield and get 3 points. Chelsea OG had to time him out. He's a troll. Good on you, Chelsea OG. Big up, man. Big up. And guys, if you haven't checked out Chelsea OG's channel, check it out, man. Big up my guy, man. Big up my guy. Trolling is funny sometimes. Yeah, it can be. But you know what, man? I don't want to end this guy constantly on my channel. By all means, if he wants to put me on his channel and he wants me to end him there, I'll be more than happy to do that. Any Spurs fan wants to come at me, they know it's a losing battle, man. It's a losing battle. Football hairstyles, big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. George G, big up yours. What do we got here? Like and sub and share, dudes. Big up Chelsea OG. King of the Animals, Man City will fluff it up, mate. Oh, mate, I'm hoping. Across the pond, says City, Gunners going to scrape by. Oop. Golazzo says, nah, join me on my channel to watch Southampton cause an upset later. Maybe a draw. Praying for that. Guys, look, thank you for joining us for this episode, guys. It was an absolute pleasure having you guys here today with me. To be perfectly honest, I really do believe Arsenal are going to go through and get us those 3 points that we really deserve and we fucking need. Hopefully, Man City can stumble and fucking do a bit of a fucking, you know what I mean? But you know what? To be perfectly honest, I'm not going to sit here and think to myself, I'm waiting on them to stuff up so that way I can judge what's going to happen for Arsenal. I think at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to our performances. It's going to come down to Arsenal taking care of business. And if we continue to play one game at a time and keep worrying about our next opposition, we don't have to worry and focus about City. I think Liverpool have got a lot more to worry about than Arsenal in my books. My man, thank you very much for joining me. Guys in the chat, thank you very much for joining us. If you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to everyone's channels. I'm going to have links in the description below from the Aussie Gooner, everyone out here in Australia, from Jurgen Klopp, from Mohamed Salah, from Bukayo Saka. It's Uru, guys. Uru.